So yesterday I went to the range, came back. I didn't make the video yesterday because I was exhausted. Because what happened was that I went to the range on Friday, came back, didn't go Saturday morning, went Saturday night, shot the IRB, the International Bench Rest, rimfire bench rest. Then went Sunday morning, came back, and on Sunday evening I wanted to make up the hand loads for this and I thought I'll have dinner after I make these hand loads. Well, anyway, for various reasons, or a couple of reasons, I didn't get to bed until 1 a.m. and I didn't have dinner. I just had a snack, and then I still hadn't finished. Well, as far as I got was weighing the powder charges, and I shouldn't have done that because I was exhausted and I wasn't thinking straight. I'd had a couple of wines just to, settle down, and yeah, in combination with a couple of red wines, a couple of beers, a couple of red wines, and just being up for so long, I have no doubt that I made some mistakes weighing those powder charges. And so the results were not spectacular. They weren't bad, but there was obviously some issues, because one of the guys that's there, who I befriended, Scotty, he's got a Garmin Zero, the chronograph, and he said, if I'm not using it, if you want to test out some of your ammo, just give me a yell. So I said, yeah, all right, I'll do 10 rounds, I'll do 2 5-shot groups or whatever. And he set it up and it worked fine. The Garmin Zero, great little unit, bloody expensive, but, and I had really poor results as far as the extreme spread. So the extreme spread is from this is only with 10 rounds, from the lowest velocity to the highest velocity, and it was like 50 feet per second out of 10 rounds, and I was like, what? And I'm meticulous. The only thing I didn't do with that brass was true the flash holes. Now, is that really going to have that much of an impact? I can't see it, but I obviously did something wrong. And I am meticulous about powder weight, the powder charge, weighing it, like meticulous. And the cases, preparation of cases, everything. In my opinion, my process for making up hand loads and prepping the brass and everything, I go above and beyond the Call of Duty when it comes to doing that. So I obviously screwed up. Straight away I'll say I screwed up. Now, one thing, as far as these magazines are concerned, I said that, here's the big one, I said that this one wouldn't go in. It does. So as I said, this one works. This one does go in. It was just a little bit tight to begin with. Oops, this damn stock, I tell you. So there's nothing in here. See, chamber flag, and it does go in, but you gotta whack it in. And it does go in, no problems. Now, there is an issue with both of these magazines, and the issue is that, so I'll show you just in case some safety tard fucking arcs up. These 2 rounds, these 223 rounds are dummy rounds. You can see, no primers, no powder, they're just projectile and case. So with this polymer magazine, the Accuracy International polymer magazine, I'll show you. So that bolt has just ridden straight over the top of the round. And if you sort of coax it, not playing. Oh, there we go. We can get it to go in. But how many times did I have to screw around? So the problem is, and this is for both of them, this is for both magazines, is that the bolt face sits about, let me see, I'll do it, sits about 4 millimeters past the end of the rim. So quite literally, I'll show you, if that was the bolt face, right, this is how it's sitting, like that. It should be sitting there. Behind it, it's actually sitting on top of it. Don't know why. And that's as far as the bolt can go back. I would have to take the, like, eject the bolt, or because what does the, I don't know. I may have to I don't know, I may have to alter the bolt release to let the bolt go further back, or I don't know. Well, I'm assuming that, so these are two different brands of magazines. One's an AI and the other one's what is it? Accurate Mag, and they've got exactly the same problem. Exactly the same problem. This one, the round's just right over the top of it as well. I'll show you. Put the rounds in it. And again, dummy rounds. Yeah, goes in no problems. You've got to give it a bit of a whack, but it'll probably loosen up after a while. And this one has exactly the same problem. So you can, it does actually shove the cartridge out, and then you can put it in a battery, but it's riding over the top of it. You've got to coax it out of its seat in the magazine to come forward, and then the bolt face picks it up. Yeah. Which doesn't really matter that much to me, because with this thing I'm single feeding it. But so I've got two problems with these magazines. Both have a similar problem of the bolt face is actually sitting on top of the rim, over the rim, and doesn't pick it up until you sort of slide the cartridge forward and it picks it up. So both have that problem. Now, so the follower is not far enough back. It needs to be further back. The slot, it needs to be further back. Now, what's the other problem? The other problem is that this one is too short. The follower is too short. The aperture that the round goes in, it's too short, and you have to have a really short case to make them fit. And well, actually, this one doesn't have that problem. This one's long enough, but it's still got that problem of where the cartridge rim is not back far enough, or is not. Yeah, the bolt face is sitting over the top of it. So there, I've got to figure out something. I've got to figure something out. Alter one of these somehow, or I don't know. Yeah, I've got to dismantle them and see what I can do. Which I'm not happy about. But anyway, I'll show you the results. So those handloads that I made on Sunday night, when I was absolutely rooted, exhausted. So I was using Spear 69 grain match hollow point boat tail ammunition, which I said looked exactly like Sierra Match Kings. They do. So I made up So these are all 5-shot groups. So I made two 5-shot groups of each powder weight by half grain increments. So 24 grains, 0.72. Yeah, that's all right. 24 grains 1, 24 and a half grains 0.88, 24 and a half grains 0.81. So there you go. That's not bad. Then 25 grains 2.2. So this is 5 shots. I don't know where the 5th one, it must have gone through one of the same holes, but I've got this big fly there, and I'm aiming right at, I've got 50 power, man. I've got that dot sitting dead center, so it's gone up here, so that was probably me screwing up. Otherwise it would have been an inch. 25 grains again, 0.69, 25 and a half, 1. I had 4 really tight together in that one there. Yeah. 25 and a half grains again, 1.3. 26 grains, 1.4. Now I had 4 easily within half an inch, and then that one again up there. Again, probably me screwing the powder charge up, I think. And then 26 again, 1.3. So definitely a lot of potential there, but I have to concentrate when I do the powder charging to be totally lucid, not exhausted. I really was exhausted. I was absolutely, and then I got up and like at 4:30 and had to took the ejector out of this is at 4:30 in the morning after having a couple hours sleep. Took the ejector out, made a split case, found out where the lands were. How long is a throat does this thing have? It's got a very long throat, like really, really long. I could have literally, all right, I could have literally had the projectile into the neck, I reckon, by 1 millimeter, and it would still go in without clashing with the lands. I mean, it's got a long throat. So, you know, what to do. Man, you know what? Bugs everywhere. Go away. I'm tempted to get rid of this stock because, but I don't think that's going to make a difference. I really don't. I do not think that is going to make a difference. It might if I use another stock, but who knows? So, yeah, I don't know what to do. I'll see if I can modify these magazines so I can actually put rounds in the magazine. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of a mini review of these things. I don't know if you've ever seen them before. Injinji toe socks. Okay, Injinji is a company in California, and they specifically target sports people. And so you've got each toe, all right, is individually covered by the sock. And the thing I like about these socks is these socks are actually properly made. They're not just a tube sewn at the end, you know. So if you've never tried these Injinji socks, when you first put them on, it feels weird. If you're not used to having things between your toes, it does feel weird. But after a while, you don't even think about it. In the beginning, you're aware of there's something in between my toes. I really like them. They're not cheap. I really like them. Bug's back. I'm gonna kill this bug. Anyway. Oh yeah, the other thing. There's a website. There's a YouTube site called Reef Rebels. Have a look at their latest video. Have a look at the latest video that Reef Rebels have done. It sort of highlights just the bullshit that is being spread to the world by the CSIRO and who else? James Cook University here in Townsville, and you know, people who actually live here in North Queensland and are on the reef constantly, right? It's very much a playground for North Queensland, the people who live here, we don't want to destroy the reef, right? And they're not, all right? We're not destroying a reef. It's pure and unadulterated. The propaganda and lies that is out there is just pure and unadulterated bullshit, all right? Watch this latest video of Reef Rebels and you'll see how everything is sort of distorted. The truth is distorted, where you can be, I don't know, 100 kilometres inland and they consider that a Great Barrier Reef ecosystem. No, I don't think so. All right? And because they call it, when anyone sees the words Great Barrier Reef, they automatically think reef, actual reef, underwater reef. All right? Nah, these shonky scientists, right, and politicians, the Greens and the Labor Party and that, the way they distort the truth, right, is quite disgusting. All right, it's quite disgusting because it paints the farmers, you know, along the coast as eco vandals, you know, and it's just rubbish. All right, it's just pure rubbish. So have a look at that, Reef Rebels. Anyway, so I'm going to try and figure out what I can do with these magazines, see if I can alter, change something. But or I'm going to have a look inside the action and see if I can get this bolt to come further back. If I get I think that's the only way I'm going to be able to fix that, if I can get this bolt to come further back. So once I've figured something out, I'll get back to you and I'll show you what I've done. So I was determined straight away to have a look at what exactly was going on, what was causing that bolt head to be sitting on top of the cartridges. All right, like it was sitting, that's how far forward. The bolt head was like there. Oops. Bolt head was like there, over the top of the cartridge, back of the cartridge. Now, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute. There's no way that MDT, with all of their years of experience in making stocks, and these guys, AI, Accurate Mag, the years they've got experience making the magazines, they're not going to make magazines, and these companies are not going to make magazines and stocks that don't work. So, luckily, I still have my 30-06 Howa, the old girl. So, I had a look in there just to see if there was any difference between the bolt release lug, the bolt release on this and bolt release on this, and so they have made a big change, a huge change. The bolt release on that is probably, I would say, like, if we're talking metric, I would say that the bolt release on that one is about 5mm. The bolt release on this one is, and I'm not joking, it was, how long? It was about 30mm. I'm not joking, like an inch. So they've obviously beefed it up, right? I don't know, maybe people were just reefing it back too hard and damaging the release lug. It's just like, yeah. I can't actually show you physically what I did because it would breach YouTube guidelines. The manufacture or alteration of firearms, showing how do people do it, you're not allowed to do it. All right, so I'm not going to show you, but I'll tell you. So if that's the actual bolt release arm, all right, I actually just cut a big slot out. And now the bolt, instead of going to this, I'll show you where it was going to. It was going to about there. You can see how far out. Whereas now it goes to there. So now, and I'll show you, with this mag that does take long projectiles. No problems. picks them up, no problems. Why? Because the bolt can go back far enough. I don't know why Howa did that, and I don't know if they're aware. Maybe with just an internal Howa magazine it's fine, but if you do buy a new, because this is a new Howa, right? They've changed things. The bolt shroud is now an alloy anodized bolt shroud, and the bolt release is a huge bar that's about an inch long, whereas previously on that one it was like, I don't know, a quarter of an inch. So if you do experience this problem, that's what it is. If you are not confident in cutting that piece out, just take it to your gunsmith, show him what the problem is. He'll see it straight away. He'll have a look in there and go, oh yeah, your bolt release, the actual arm is just too far forward, needs to come back. And so he'll just cut a square out, a small square out, and that'll fix the problem. So I'm happy. It's always good to figure out what a problem is, what's causing the problem, and then fixing the problem. That's always satisfying to me. So I figured out luckily I had that other Howa, the old Howa, to compare. So if you are having that issue, if your bolt head on these short actions 223, and you've got it in one of these stocks with AICS pattern magazines, and the bolt head is the head of the bolt is sitting on top of the rear of the cartridge and not stripping it, that's what it is. So until then, see you later.